Hello, I'm Mervin Matthew. Welcome to GIS Year in Review. Stay with us as we take you back to the major stories for the year 2014. From the signing of contracts for major infrastructural projects, the provision of shelter for the less fortunate, the passing away of former parliamentarians, and of course, Election Day. In January, a Dominican archbishop became a cardinal. An agreement signed in February meant easier travel between Dominica and Brazil. In March, the Commonwealth Games Queen's Bateau stopped in Dominica, and in April, Dominica hosted the regional tourism ministers meeting. Let's now join Nisha Charles as she presents some of the main stories for the months of January to April 2014.
The MV Costa Magica of the Costa Cruise Lines based in Italy made its inaugural call at the Woodbridge Bay on January 2nd. The National Drug Prevention Unit used the first month of the year to increase the public's awareness of dangers of drug abuse. The one-week observance was held under the theme, "Make health your new high, not drugs." Victims of the December 2013 trough system began receiving assistance from government in January. The government of Dominica provided 100% of the assessed value to repair dwelling houses of those affected, while 60% was provided for loss of personal household effects. Staff and students of the Newtown Primary School were temporarily relocated to the former Teachers College at Bath Estate. The move was to accommodate the construction of the new Newtown Primary School, which is a gift from the government of the People's Republic of China. Stella LeBlanc was re-elected chairperson of the Viecas Village Council. LeBlanc and 7 other councillors were sworn in during the 26th inaugural meeting of the council on January 16, 2014. Dominican-born Archbishop Kelvin Felix became a cardinal of the Roman Catholic Church. The announcement was made on Sunday, January 12, 2014. Archbishop Felix was among 19 Catholic prelates from around the world who were elevated to the office by Pope Francis. A one-week workshop on marketing techniques for small hotels ended on January 30th. The workshop, designed for owners and staff of small hotels, was conducted by the Aid Bank in collaboration with the Caribbean Technology Consultancy Services of the Caribbean Development Bank. The VOSH team from the Michigan chapter donated $40,000 worth of eye drops to the Ministry of Health's Ophthalmology Department on January 15, 2014. The Volunteer Optometric Services to Humanity has provided services to the island's less fortunate for 2 decades. Now for a look at some of the stories which made the news in the month of February. The government of Dominica and Range Developments Limited signed a Memorandum of Understanding on February 18th for the construction of a 75 to 125 room high-end luxury brand hotel in the north of the island. The MOU was the first to be signed under the Citizenship by Investment arm of the Economic Citizenship Program.
We're very pleased to be partnering with the government on this initiative, and we look forward to bringing an ultra-luxury branded 5-star hotel to the Commonwealth of Dominica and realizing the Commonwealth of Dominica's ambition to become a luxury destination for tourism in the coming years.
On February 19th, the new Australian High Commissioner, His Excellency Ross Williams Tyso, presented his letter of credence to Dominica's head of state, His Excellency Charles Savre. His Excellency Tyso replaced Ambassador Philip Charles Cantwell. On Friday, February 28th, the Aid Bank engaged members of the diaspora with the hope of stimulating economic development through their investments. The event, named Help Here From There, tackled the subjects of available opportunities for investment, the bank's position to make those investments possible, and government's diaspora policy.
The objectives of the diaspora policy are to increase investment and participation of the diaspora in the local economy, and also to encourage persons to return home to work or to retire.
20-year-old Francine Tiffany Barron of Granby outshined 6 competitors and earned the title of Miss Dominica 2014 at the National Queen Show on Friday, February 28th. Barron captured the Miss Intelligence, Miss Photogenic, and Best Performing Talent awards. Donella Revere, the first runner-up, captured the awards for Best Evening Wear, Best in Evening Wear, and Best Costume. Octavia Prosper copped the second runner-up position.
When we make a promise to ourselves and to our communities and sponsors, we have to see that promise through, and that gave me the determination and the drive that I needed to continue with this pageant and to become Miss Dominica 2014.
Now for a look at the main stories for the month of March. Dominica joined the government and people of Venezuela on March 5th in marking the first anniversary of the death of Hugo Chavez, who died of cancer after 14 years as president. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit was also among world leaders who attended a special military parade in Caracas, Venezuela, in memory of the late Venezuelan president.
Es vencer o morir.
The Organization of Eastern Caribbean States announced in February the appointment of St. Lucian Dr. Didacus Jules as the organization's new Director General. Jules was the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Caribbean Examination Council. Dominica joined 52 other Commonwealth nations on Monday, March 10, in the observance of Commonwealth Day under the theme Team Commonwealth. On Tuesday, February 11, Calypso fans and Dominicans in general woke up to the sad news of the death of veteran calypsonian and calypso writer Albert Man himself Mendes. The Ministry of Health observed World Glaucoma Week from March 9 to 15 under the theme Beat Invisible Glaucoma. The objective of the week of activities is to raise public awareness of glaucoma, a chronic non-communicable eye disease which is the leading cause of irreversible blindness in Dominica. 49 students graduated from the Dominica State College on March 14. It was the first ever held at this time of year and was held at the college's auditorium. It brought the number of students graduating from the State College over the last 11 years to 4,000.
Some of you may choose to go to higher education. Others may enter into the job marketplace. My advice to you this afternoon is that whichever track that you take, make sure you do it to the best of your ability.
The governments of Dominica and the People's Republic of China celebrated 10 years of diplomatic relations on March 23rd. To mark the occasion, a cocktail reception was held on March 22nd at the conference center of the State House.
My appreciation for the friendship that has been forged is not influenced by that which can be seen or measured. Rather, it is built on the knowledge of knowing that China is there, always there for Dominica.
The Nanjing National Orchestra also staged a cultural performance at the Arak House of Culture. The government of Dominica and DOWASCO on March 26 signed a $2.54 million contract with F&C Construction Company for the construction of a new water supply system in Grand Savan, Salisbury. The new system will include the construction of a 60,000 imperial gallon tank, 885 feet of road and associated pipeworks.
It is the very first time that the people living in the Grand Savan area in Salisbury will be served from a water system by DOWASCO.
9 young farmers from Mero were presented with farming tools in February in an effort to maximize production on their farms. The men are the first group to benefit from the National Employment Program's Community Employment Initiative.
It will be a great push because nowadays we need a little help. We was doing our own thing already, so that push will be actually a very good thing for us.
Honorable Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Skerrit, led a high-level government delegation on an official visit to Martinique to meet with President of the Regional Council, Serge Lechimi. The meeting focused on cooperation in the field of energy, security, health, agriculture, education, and culture. The Dominica Bureau of Standards joined forces with regional and international organizations in an effort to increase productivity and export capacity of selected value chains, in particular Dominica's hot pepper sauce. Dominica, along with 4 other Caribbean countries, implemented a regional quality infrastructure project early in April using what is called the Caladina methodology. An international trail running competition activity dubbed the One Run ended on April 11th. The One Run 5-day competition took local and international runners through Dominica's 115-mile Waitakobali National Trail from Scott's Head to the Cabritz National Park. Canadian Mike Matrosovs won the competition. The community employment component of the multifaceted National Employment Program was launched on April 8th in La Plaine. 4 Dominicans were among 23 students of the All Saints University School of Medicine who received their white coats on April 12th. The white coat ceremony marks a medical student's transition from the study of preclinical to clinical health sciences.
The day of white coat is one of those times in our lives when we are torn between the joy of our memories and the excitement of our future.
Cocoa farmers from the northern and western agricultural regions completed a Farmers Field School program on April 15, 2014. The 8-week training program focused on pruning techniques. The Ministry of Education, through its Regional Integration Task Force work plan, embarked on a school sensitization drive in April to educate students on matters as it relates to CARICOM and OECS integration. The public awareness program, which began in September of 2013 in the Eastern District, was extended to primary and secondary schools in the Northern District.
The effort intends to sensitize our senior primary school students, more specifically grade 5 and 6, and our secondary school students in Form 4 and 5 on issues, as I said earlier, relating to CARICOM and OECS integration.
A wreath-laying ceremony at the Simon Bolivar Monument in Goodwill on Thursday, April 17th, marked the 204th anniversary of the signing of Declaration of Independence of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. These were some of the major stories which made the news right here on the Government Information Service. We now take you back to Mervin Matthew.
Thank you, Nisha. You're watching GIS Year in Review. In the month of May, Dominica's Michael Henderson Del Sol won a regional competition. The twinning of the cities of Roseau and Hangzhou was discussed in the month of June. In July, Jarrett Jajak won the first prize in the National Reading Competition. And farmers of the Northeast were trained in composting in August. We now join Tasia Floissac with the main stories which made the news for the months of May to August.
Let's take a look at some of the stories which made the news in the month of May. Thousands of Dominica Labour Party supporters gathered at the St. Joseph playing field on Monday, May 5th, for a major rally of the Dominica Labour Party dubbed Labour is the Change, Labour Katwavai. Monday's rally provided an opportunity for the DLP supporters to be brought up to date on recent developments in the country as well as proposed plans by the Roosevelt Skerritt-led administration.
Labour working. Change, real change. For years we couldn't fly out of the sunset. Now anytime it's the yacht or Learjet, change, real change.
The first ever Agri-Forestry Festival was hosted by the Ministry of Agriculture from May 12 to 16th under the theme Agriculture and Forestry, Our Sustainable Future. Plans for transformation of the city of Roseau took a major step forward in May when the concept design was presented to stakeholders at the conference room of the State House.
The government of Dominica has been desirous of undertaking the development initiatives to enhance and rejuvenate, to bring alive the city of Roseau in a desirable and sustainable way.
249 medical students began clinical studies at the Ross University School of Medicine in May. They were officially cloaked with white clothes at a ceremony attended by His Excellency Dominica's Head of State, Charles Savre, and Mrs. Savre.
You are important to us. You contribute to the socio-economic development of, first of all, Portsmouth, my hometown, which I'm very proud of, but ultimately to the development of Dominica.
Fisheries ministers from member states of the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism (CRFM) met in Dominica on Friday, May 23rd for the 8th meeting of the CRFM Ministerial Council. The Council considered and provided policy direction on a number of recent initiatives designed to ensure the economic sustainability of the region's marine resources. Dominica's Michael Henderson Del Sol emerged winner of the CARICOM Song Contest. Out of 15 countries and more than 50 competitors, Michael was able to produce a piece which thoroughly impressed the judges. Michael's song celebrating CARICOM is the official CARICOM song for ceremonial events, regionally and internationally. The government of Dominica pledged $500,000 towards the ongoing renovation work on the Rosa Roman Catholic Cathedral. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit presented the first tranche of $300,000 to Bishop of Roseau, His Lordship Gabriel Malzer, on the project site on June 4th. Let's move on now to the month of June. June 4th was declared an official day of mourning for the late Mary Davis Peer, former Speaker of the House of Assembly. Flags were flown at half-mast on all public buildings in the state, and an official funeral was held at the St. Gerard's Hall Chapel. Government's geothermal energy pursuits continued on June 10th with a flow test in Loda. The flow test was conducted to measure the flow rate of the water and steam separately and to determine the output characteristics of the well. Officials reported that the results were beyond expectations.
We have measured the output of this well and we expect it to be capable of more than 10 megawatts of electric power generation, which is enough to replace the current diesel power generation on the island and bring energy independence to the Commonwealth of Dominica.
The government of Japan on June 12 demonstrated in a tangible way its commitment to Dominica's development. Dominica's Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit and Japan's ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Yoshimasa Tezuka, signed a US $1 million agreement for an exchange of notes regarding Japan's grant aid for the provision of industrial products.
Japan has been and continues to be that kind of friend who we could always rely on in time of need and in time of disaster. And I want you to be rest assured, Ambassador, that Dominica will continue to stand in solidarity with Japan on many important cultural and national issues of concern to the Japanese people.
Jazz and Creole 2014 was held on June 8th at the Cabrits National Park. The annual event is a means of attracting visitors from the neighboring French islands and the wider Caribbean to Dominica and serves as an avenue for showcasing local jazz artists on the island as well as foreign acts. An agreement was signed between the governments of Dominica and the Republic of Chile for visas exemption for holders of diplomatic and official passports.
It's going to allow to the diplomats of Dominica, both of us, to travel to Chile and to Dominica.
The $25.9 million sea defense wall and road reinstatement project was officially commissioned on Friday, June 27th. The Point Michel Sea Defense and Road Reinstatement Project was funded through a loan from the Caribbean Development Bank. The official commissioning also included the handing over of vending stalls.
This completed project should be used as a stimuli for entrepreneurs in this area to attract residents of other communities to visit and support the Point Michel economy.
On Tuesday, July 2nd, Dominica's House of Parliament approved a bill to make the Caribbean Court of Justice the final appellate court for Dominica. The bill was passed with 18 votes in favor of the CCJ, surpassing the requirements by 2. On Monday, July 7th, the governments of Dominica and Brazil signed 2 cooperation agreements. The first, an agreement which was initially proposed at a Brazil CARICOM summit in April 2010. A $100,000 U.S. agreement was also signed between the Brazilian Water Agency and DOASCO for cooperation in water resource development. Jared Jajak walked away with the first prize in the DBS Ministry of Education Quartz Dominica Limited National Reading Competition. Lois Aarons of the Pioneer Preparatory and Anessa Laura of Lighthouse Christian Academy came in second and third place respectively.
It is incumbent on us as a ministry to put strategies in place to ensure that we deal with those challenges and that the schools are adequately prepared to turn out the kind of readers that we anticipate that we should have.
Stakeholders from around the world converged on the island for a two-day consultative workshop to begin the process of validating the need for a center that will coordinate sustainable energy initiatives for the Caribbean. Honorable Prime Minister and Minister for Finance Roosevelt Skerrit presented an over $480 million tax-free budget to Parliament on Wednesday, July 23rd. It was the Dominica leader's 11th budget presentation. The Honorable Finance Minister presented the 2014-2015 budget during the first meeting of the 5th session of the 8th Parliament at the House of Assembly in Roseau.
We will articulate a more diversified approach to sustainable economic recovery and social development to take us out of this prolonged global recession and into an era of prosperity.
The 2014-2015 budget also included relief packages for nationals, including the removal of VAT on the service charges at hotels, the removal of import duties on adult and children disposable diapers, the introduction of a cost of living grant for senior citizens, and the reduction of personal income tax.
This government is working. We are working for the people of Dominica.
The National Development Foundation of Dominica recorded tremendous successes and financial milestones in 2013. This was confirmed by Chairman of the NDFD, Oliver Henderson, when he addressed the 32nd Annual General Meeting of the institution on Wednesday, July 31st.
The NDFD ended the year with the highest operational surplus since it began operations 32 years ago, and has seen its general fund move from a negative $431,000 to a negative of $139,845.
Now for a look at the top stories for the month of August. A senior health official confirmed early August that there was a decline in the number of cases of chikungunya in Dominica. Officials had reported in July that there were over 3,500 reported cases and 141 confirmed cases. The decline in numbers was attributed to an extensive public awareness campaign. Farmers of the Northeast were trained in August on the preparation of composting material. Agricultural officials attached to the Northeast Agriculture Region hosted a training exercise for over 40 farmers from Capuchin to Concord.
We simply want to teach you, the farmers of Dominica, how it is that you can save money by producing and making your own fertilizers for your bananas, plantain, vegetables, tania, yam, ginger, whatever it is that you're planting. We just want to show you how you can save money so that you don't have to be always buying inputs.
The Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development reported an improvement in performance at the 2014 Caribbean Examination Council, CXC, Caribbean Secondary Education Exams. The overall pass rate grew by 1.5% to 76.1% compared to 74.6% last year.
The ministry is especially proud of this statistic, which shows an upward trend in student performance.
A 4-day mentorship program which sought to address the severity of heart disease in Dominica was hosted by the Ministry of Health in August. Health professionals were trained to care for patients who suffered respiratory failure. The Dominica Health Situation Analysis for November 2013 identified heart disease as the leading cause of death and cardiac arrest among 10 leading causes of death in Dominica. A 10-man Chinese ophthalmology team visited the island in August to perform free cataract surgeries for Dominican patients. Surgeries were done with the support of the island's ophthalmology team, headed by consultant ophthalmologist Dr. Hazel Schilling-Frederickis. The eye care equipment were donated to the government of Dominica at the end of the mission. The Commonwealth of Dominica and the Republic of Ecuador officially became bilateral partners in August. 2 cooperation agreements were signed during a visit on August 14th by a delegation from the government of Ecuador, which included Foreign Minister Ricardo Patiño. The government of the People's Republic of China presented 9 youths with the opportunity to pursue studies in various disciplines in the Asian country. Admission notices were presented to the students at a ceremony at the Chinese Embassy on August 15th. On Monday, August 25th, the Ministry of Tourism signed contracts for Phase 1 of the Rosa River Promenade and Tito Gosh projects. Phase 1 of the Rosa River Promenade will include the strengthening of the northern bank dredging of the river and flood mitigation.
We want to use the Rosa River as an asset and turn it really into a tourism product by the development of the amenities that we will attach to the Rosa River, and that is where the Rosa River Promenade comes into play.
Over $22 million worth of illegal drugs, including crack cocaine and marijuana, were disposed of by the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force.
That in itself is a true manifestation of the unrelenting effort or the persistent concerted effort by the police department, the law enforcement agency, of course in collaboration with other agencies, as we seek to combat the drug collaboratively and to minimize its impact in Dominica, particularly among our youth.
These were some of the main stories which made the news for the months of May to August 2014. We now take you back to Mervin Matthew.
In September, over 20 less fortunate families in the Kainago territory received housing. Construction work on the first phase of the Rosa River Promenade project continued in October. On November 1st, the Port-Cartier to George Charles Airport Road was officially renamed, and the Dominica Labour Party won the December 8th general elections. We now join Kimani St for the main stories which made the news for the months of September to December 2014.
Thank you, Mervin. Flags were flown at half-mast on September 8th as the country observed an official day of mourning for deceased president of the Dominica Association of Evangelical Churches, Bishop Michael Bill Daniel. Daniel passed away on Friday, August 22nd after a battle with cancer. Efforts continued in September to develop a regional policy to improve and standardize the quality of goods and services in the region. A draft regional policy for quality infrastructure was discussed at a one-week stakeholder meeting at the Fortune Hotel.
We can create these standards that can guide how we, do business in Dominica. From a manufacturing point of view, what standards we need to put in place for that. From everything that we buy in Dominica, how do we protect our consumers? Critical for us.
Crime Stoppers Dominica received just over $40,000 in its fight against crime. Ross University School of Medicine made a donation to the organization on Thursday, September 11th.
Crime Stoppers are something that's all over the world that has made a difference in the safety of communities, in making, especially for our students, feel safe, our faculty feels safe, and our staff feels safe in this community.
Government's National Employment Program was extended to 57 young people in Delis in September.
It's a very good thing because right now all the people and I will be fully employed and it will be impact on my family. Right now, if a daughter is studying overseas, I'll be able to send a little change for her very often because it was really hard for me to get some money to send for her. So right now, it is going to change my life, help me in everything.
Residents of Monrachet turned out in large numbers on September 12th for the official opening of the community's resource center. Government contributed $270,000 towards the $320,000 project. Dominica's indigenous people received another gift from the Roosevelt Skerritt-led administration in September. 27 houses were handed over to selected families at a ceremony on September 15th. The houses, which costed approximately $1.4 million, was a gift from the People's Republic of China and the DLP administration.
I can say praise to our government and praise to our brothers and sisters, the Chinese. And I say thanks be to God. God will bless all you because I am living happy in my house now.
The consulting group responsible for the construction of the proposed indoor sporting facility visited the island in September. The RLO consulting group from Miami met with members of cabinet as well as members of sporting associations and also got a first look at the proposed site.
We have a lot of experience in this trade, and we hope that what we are going to build is going to be a beautiful piece of architecture and a usable piece of architecture for all the people in Dominica.
A contract worth $224,888.66 was signed between the Ministry of Public Works and the Wharton Waven Improvement Committee for the restoration of a bridge in that community. 6 families of Silver Lake got keys to brand new apartments on September 19th.
Over the years, I have moved from one home to another inside of Silver Lake, and the conditions for living were certainly not the best because circumstances led me here. Honorable Prime Minister, I stand here today proudly to say that the Dominican Labour Party government has brought a very positive change in the lives of my children and I.
The National Youth Council launched the first ever Dominica-China Youth Friendship Week on Monday, September 22nd. The objective was to highlight the culture and traditions of both countries and to deepen friendship.
Today I commend the President and other executive members of the National Youth Council for recognizing the importance of such relationship and have decided to publicly endorse and to promote this relationship and to observe Dominica-China Youth Friendship Week with a series of activities.
His Excellency President of Dominica, Charles Savary, addressed the United Nations General Assembly on Friday, September 26. Now for a look at the main stories for the month of October. The contract for the second phase of the Southern Water Project was signed on October 2nd. The $4.6 million Bells Water Project was officially launched on October 6th at the Bells Primary School.
This Labour Party is a party that appreciates improving the lives and the standard of living and the pride and joy in people and families. And this is why we have taken this bold decision, but this necessary decision, to effect the commencement of this major water project at a cost of $4.6 million.
Teachers from across the island met at the Benz Anzeme playing field on October 3rd for a Teachers' Day rally. The event was hosted under the theme, "It Starts with the Teacher." Up to 90 residents in the Kalinago territory became beneficiaries of government's National Employment Program in October.
I think the National Employment Program is a wonderful initiative by the government. It has been empowering young people like myself to put their skills into practice, and I believe that it will help me as a person.
A revised dental procedures manual was launched in October. The manual is expected to promote the general knowledge of good oral practices, increase monitoring of services provided in the clinics, and standardize dental health clinics across Dominica.
The Ministry of Health, through its dental unit, takes great pleasure in having been able to develop a dental procedure manual and to begin utilizing the updated information to provide excellent oral health services to the public. 292
students graduated from the Dominica State College on October 16th. 27 of the 278 who obtained associate degrees graduated with honors. Leah Dodds is the 2014 A-Level Island Scholar. Dodds obtained 3 A's and 1 C at the examinations. Back in 2012, Leah Dodds was a top performer at CSEC exams, obtaining 10 ones.
And I want to say thank you to God for being there, for encouraging me, for raising me, and for giving me the brains, the skills, and the motivation to be here today.
A promise made to Wesley residents was fulfilled on Friday, October 17th with a groundbreaking ceremony for the Wesley Resource Center. The $580,000 facility is being funded by the government of Dominica, the Basic Needs Trust Fund, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
We are happy for what we are getting. And let me also say to you, this is the same government, the same working Labour Party government who has brought this.
Melissa Benjamin of Grand Bay copped the 2014 Miss Wapdue title. The 20-year-old captured the award for Best Creole Spectacular Wear at the Old Mill Cultural Center on October 23rd. Dominica's main airport was officially renamed during a ceremony at Melville Hall in honor of the 2 deceased prime ministers. The Douglas Charles Airport was named in honor of Pierre Charles and Roosevelt Douglas on October 27th.
It is absolutely fitting that they are remembered together as they always were.
Dominica's 18th World Creole Music Festival was hosted at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium from October 24th to 26th. Let's now take a look at some of the main stories which made the news in the month of November. 19 individuals and 1 group were recognized for dedicated service to country at the Independence Day Parade of Uniformed Groups on November 3rd. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit made a much anticipated announcement on November 5th.
Nomination day will be Wednesday, the 19th day of November 2014. General elections and the date on which the Commonwealth of Dominica will determine its political, social, and economic future is Monday, the 8th day of December 2014.
From November 4th to 6th, a high-level delegation of Sacred Military Constantinian Order of St. George paid an official visit to the Commonwealth of Dominica. The main purpose of the high-level visit was to launch a series of major charitable projects on the island. The rank and the dignity of a Knight Grand Cross of Merit of the Sacred Military Constantinian Order of St. George was bestowed on His Excellency the President and Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit for the nation's contribution to enriching its Christian identity through charitable work and its humanitarian endeavor and interreligious harmony. On November 28th, the government of Dominica and Petro-Caribe Dominica signed contract with 7 contractors who will execute drainage works on the Petit Soufriere Rosalie Link Road.
This government, in its usual fashion, has agreed to take up the challenge and to ensure the completion of that very important Petit Soufriere Link Road.
On Friday, November 7th, the government of Dominica and Range Capital Partners Dominica Limited signed an agreement for the construction of a luxury resort in Cabritz.
The objectives of this particular project are clear. In the first place, it is for the construction of a high-end hotel capable of attracting clients that are of high value.
His Excellency President of Dominica Charles Savre, Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly Alex Boyd Knights, as well as other government officials, laid wreaths at the War Cenotaph on Sunday, September 9th, in observance of Remembrance Day. The Port-Cartier to Douglas Charles Airport Road was officially renamed on November 1st. The highway was named after the 7th President of Dominica, Dr. Nicholas Liverpool.
I must say how grateful we all are for this honor bestowed upon me today.
On Thursday, November 20th, His Excellency President of Dominica Charles Savre welcomed Cuba's new ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Juan Carlos Formeta de la Rosa.
It is a great honor for me to have the opportunity to represent the Cuban people and government to the friendly and brotherly Dominican people and government.
The stint of former ambassador Juana Elena Ramos Rodriguez ended in November. The government of Turkey presented a gift of 50 desktop computers to the Ministry of Agriculture in late November. The 50 computers will be distributed across 7 agricultural regions. And finally, we take you back to some of the main stories for the month of December. Dominican voters went to the polls on December 8th and once again voted in favor of the Dominica Labour Party. The DLP's victory brought to an end 32 days of intense campaigning. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit took his oath of office during a ceremony at the State House on Tuesday, December 9th.
I, Roosevelt Skerrit, do swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Prime Minister.
Do swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Prime Minister.
Without fear or favor.
Without fear or favor.
Affection or ill will.
Affection or ill will.
And that in the execution of the functions of the office.
And that in the execution of the functions of that office.
I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
I will honor and uphold and preserve the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
So help me God.
So help me God.
The Dominica leader also took his oath as a finance minister on December 11th. A 17-member cabinet was officially sworn in at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium on December 13th. The swearing-in came just days after the Dominica Labour Party's December 8th election victory.
I have every confidence that they will deliver in their respective constituencies and right across the nation.
The Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit also announced that government will nominate Alex Boyd Knights as the Speaker of the House in the new term. President of the National Youth Council, Josiah Benoit, and General Secretary of the Dominica Labour Party, Edward Regist, will also be appointed senators on the government side in the House of Parliament. On December 23rd, UWP leader Lennox Linton was sworn in as leader of the opposition.
I, Lennox Linton, do swear.
I, Lennox Linton, do swear.
That I will faithfully bear true allegiance to the Commonwealth of Dominica.
That I will faithfully bear true allegiance to the Commonwealth of Dominica.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Dominica established diplomatic relations with the United Arab Emirates in December. This was confirmed by Dominica's ambassador to the United Nations, His Excellency Dr. Vince Henderson. This has been some of the main stories which made the news during the month of September to December 2014. We now take you back to Mervin Matthew.
Thank you, Kimani. For the past hour, we have taken you back to some of the main stories of the year. We thank our viewers for joining us every evening on National Focus, and we look forward to your company in 2015. On behalf of the GIS News Production team, I'm Mervin Matthew, wishing you a productive new year.